right, you know who my next guest is, Sean Woodson, who picked up a split decision victory over Youssef Zalal this past weekend. How are you, sir?
Pretty good, man. Happy I got the W. How you doing?
I'm good. I think my first question, it's an obvious one. With all of the judging controversies nowadays, you never really know what the judges are looking at. How confident did you feel that you did enough to get your hand raised?
Well, right after the fight, I to be honest, I wasn't sure. I really wasn't sure. I knew that he had won the first round. That second round was iffy in my head. I knew that one could have went either way. And then I was confident that I had won the third round. So right when the bell rang, I knew it was going to come down to the way the judges scored that second round. So yeah, I wasn't too sure. And then, but once they started reading off the scorecards and I realized it was a split, the moment I realized it was a split, I knew it was going to go my way.
Yeah, and it really was a great fight. You guys went in there and really went at it for 15 minutes. The first round, it looked pretty clear as day that he didn't want to stand with you, that he wanted to get this fight to the ground, that was his game plan. You did a really good job of stuffing a lot of his takedowns. Did you feel like that was going to be his MO here moving into the fight?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's going to be everybody's MO when they go to fight me. I feel like, no matter how big of a striker they are going into the fight, I feel like everybody's going to be trying to get me to the ground. Yeah, Yusuf, he's a well-rounded guy. If you watch his fights, he always mixes in the takedowns here and there. But, I mean, he's predominantly a striker. He has a strong kickboxing background. So I definitely was expecting us to do a little more striking than what we did. But yeah, I knew he was going to be coming for the takedown, but I didn't think he was going to be so wrestling heavy.
Yeah, and there was a lot of interesting, stylistic breakdowns to uncover in this fight. The second round, you really came back on strong. How close was that submission attempt at the end of the second there?
Both submission attempts I went for were tight. Both of them were really tight. Uh, the first one, I believe, that was towards the end of the round with only like a few seconds left or whatnot. I feel like if I would have had a little more time to cinch it in a little deeper and make a few adjustments, I would have got the finish there. And then the one in the third round, I believe, yeah, that was also tight. They were both real tight. He toughed those out for sure.
The third round, it really seemed like your game plan was to keep him on his heels, keep the pressure on him, keep him moving backwards, and he really seemed to do a great job. How happy were you with what you did in that third round?
I mean, I guess I can say I'm, somewhat happy because that probably won me the fight. But I mean, I'm not too happy with my performance overall at all. Really, I mean, I'm my worst critic. Yeah, I felt great leading up to that fight. I felt great all fight week. Out, but I just felt off. I just felt off. I think it was due to the year long layoff and third round is when I finally started, get going and started somewhat feeling like. But even the third round, like I still didn't feel like myself. I was getting into it. I was just getting warmed up by then. Like I felt like if we would have had two more rounds, that I really would have opened up a lot more. I just was slow to get going.
How was fight week in the weight cut? Was that all smooth? Did that have any effect on your performance inside the cage?
Not at all. Yeah, no, it was smooth as could be. I mean, I'm the tallest featherweight in the division. I'm one of the, I'm not the thickest featherweight, but I'm one of the bigger featherweights. And yeah, it's normally, a big cut, but yeah, the cut was smooth as could be. Didn't bother me at all. And yeah, it had nothing to do with the cut. It just my timing felt off, my range, my distance, the speed, just yeah, it just felt just real awkward and just real different getting in there. And that's normally how fights are. Like I'm used to that. Like I know, you know, the actual fight is different than sparring in the training room. There's always a different feel to it, but this was like no other. It was before I've never been a believer in ring rust, but I think that's what it was. I definitely felt ring rust out there for sure.
Okay, no kidding. There's a lot of similarities, or I guess familiarity is the right word, with your camp and Yusuf's camp. You guys know one another, fairly well. How difficult was that to prepare for someone when they know you, you know them? Was there a factor that played into the fight as far as that goes?
No, not really. I just was really thrown off by this matchup being made. Like I'm familiar with Yusuf. I prior to this fight, I was spent a lot of my time training out in Glory, and Kraus and Yusuf are really good friends. They both share the same head coach, and then after I decided to do my next fight camp here back at home, and that fight got made, yeah, it threw me off for sure. Because I like Youssef a lot. I like his camp a lot. Factory X, Mark Montoya. I have a lot of respect for those guys, and yeah, when the fight got made, it threw me off a little bit at first, but I mean, right away I got locked in and got tunnel vision, and business is business, and I just was gonna do whatever I had to do to win this fight.
Yeah, he seems like a super nice guy too. I've interviewed him a few times and he's always smiling, so hard not to like the guy. Did you get a chance to talk to him afterwards? And if so, what did you guys say?
Yeah, right away in the cage, as soon as the bell rang and it was over, he said to me too. He said, "Man, I hate that it came down to that. I hate that we had to fight." He was like, he said it threw him off as well. He didn't like the the idea of us getting matched up, but we both were like, yeah, business is business though. Neither one of us were gonna turn down the fight. He was super friendly and respectful. He stepped he made it a point to step out of the cage and personally talk to my cornerman and talk to my girl. Yeah, super, super nice and respectful dude. Him and Coach Mark Montoya. We both, it was the feeling was mutual that we didn't really want to do this, but it's the fight business, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Now, did you get a chance to go out and celebrate it all afterwards? Did you, go with your team, have some drinks or have good food? Like, tell me what the after party was like.
Oh yeah, man. We got a bottle of hard liquor. Went and seen with some strippers was talking. No, I'm just playing, man. I don't be on that stuff. I went back to my hotel room. We got some cheeseburgers, a little milkshake, and watched the rest of the fights and just enjoyed some good food. That's it.
Well, that sounds like a good after party to me. After all the hard work you have to put in during camp, it's good to go and indulge in the foods you want to eat. What are the foods that you have to not look at during camp? Is it cheeseburgers and milkshakes? Is that what you like the most?
Well, I mean, I feel like everybody's favorite cheat food is pizza. Like that's the number one food. Like if you're dieting at all, you got to stay away from pizza. Yeah. So number one I have to pick is pizza. But outside of that, for me, it's the sweets. Like, man, I got a huge sweet tooth. Like especially after a fight, because during fight camp, sweets are the number one thing I stay away from. And yeah, I love donuts, pie, ice cream, just all the sweets, man. After the fight, my management after every fight they hook up us Iridium guys with crumble cookies. Have you ever heard of those?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. So, yeah, I got a cheeseburger, some fries, and a milkshake. And I took my crumble cookies and chopped those up and put them in the milkshake to make my own special blizzard because I love Dairy Queen blizzards. But I feel like sometimes they kind of skeech on the topping, so I chopped up all them cookies, man, and stuffed that thing full and had the ultimate blizzard.
There you go. That sounds amazing. Yeah, pizza is my vice too, man. So I feel you 100%. What's the heaviest you've ever gotten? Like when you're not preparing for a fight and you're eating whatever you want. Like what's the biggest you get?
Uh, so long time ago, I used to be a heavyweight. I don't know if you knew that. My heaviest I've ever been in my life was 230 pounds. But since I've slimmed down and since I've been fighting at featherweight, the biggest I've got, in between fights, is probably about 182, something like that. Like
Okay.
in the low 180s, low 180. But I don't do that no more. The moment I start getting, if I see 175, I'm right back on the diet. I don't go over 175.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I got to talk some gear with you here now, man, because we talked before you went live. I love the shoes collection in the background, the Jordans. That's my thing. But first, I want to start with you got the Venom shirts on, which obviously the UFC has that new contract with Venom. How do you like, the way that this fits versus the old Reebok? Do you like it better?
Yeah, I do like this better. This is what I wore. So how many days am I removed from the fight? I think like 3-4 days or something like that. I ain't took this off since the fight, man. But yeah, I like the Venom stuff a lot better. I feel like it's a lot better quality, fits better. Yeah, looks better, everything. I just overall, yeah, I like the Venom stuff better.
Now, does it have your name down the back, like right down the middle?
Yeah, yep, straight down the back, straight down the middle. It has my name in all black. I mean, I guess if I had to, be nitpicky, I would say that'd be the only thing. The name on the shirt is kind of hard to see because it's black, just like the shirt. But outside of that, everything I love everything else is great.
Okay. Yeah, I like the look of the new Venom gear as well. So very good. Let's talk about Jordans, man, and sneakers in general. Give me like your top 3 or 4, favorite all-time sneakers, because I'm a sneakerhead too. So I got to see where your head's at.
Jordan 1s are probably my favorite and most comfortable Jordan. After that, I'm a real big fan of the 11s. I like the Jordan 11s a lot. And then it'd probably be a tie between the 13s, and as of late, I'm a real big fan of the Jordan 9s. But yeah, so top three, I say Jordan 1s, Jordan 11s, and Jordan 13s.
Okay. Yeah, see, Jordan 11s for me, just the look, all-time favorite. When he had the Concords, those were just the best to me. I'm starting to come up on the ones. I really enjoy those. I'm a big fan of the threes too, with the fire red, the Katrina three.
Yeah.
Those are fantastic.
I really love the look of Jordan 4s, like the Jordan 4 Cements and the Jordan 4 Black Cats. Those are two shoes that I really want to get my hands on, but I just haven't like had the opportunity to. And I think like one of them is like $600 and the other one's like $500 for resale. So I ain't trying to pay that right now. I need to get a performance of the night bonus before I cop those two pair of shoes. But yeah, I really like the Jordan 4s a lot too. I just don't have any of them.
Have you ever tried on the 10s? Those are some of the most comfortable in my opinion.
No, I haven't. I've heard that though. I've heard of multiple people say that.
Yeah, you'll have to get on StockX and check it out, man. I'm a big fan of the 10s. I got a couple different pairs, so there you go. I like the I like the collection there. What's next to add to it? Because that's clearly something that you're continuing to build.
What's next? Well, most recent, I just got a pair of the Jordan 13 Hyper Royals, the blue and black ones. My girlfriend got that for me for my birthday a couple days ago. Actually, what I want to add to the collection next is what I mentioned. I want a pair of Jordan 4s. They're just really expensive, so I'm gonna wait a little second. But yeah, that'll be the next is a pair.
Okay, good enough. Now, I want to get some fight picks here. We got a huge UFC event this Saturday, UFC 263. Obviously, the main and co-main event are title fights, so I want to see who you got winning those two. But I also wanted to get your take on the Diaz-Edwards fight, because this is the first time ever the UFC has had a 5-round fight where it's not the main event and it's not for a title. So a really interesting matchup there. Who do you see winning these three big fights this weekend?
Diaz, man, he got some. Not saying he was gonna win, but he's got some pull, man. He called for that BMF belt. That was some special, unique stuff. First co-main 5-round fight, man. Whatever Diaz says, he gets. But I love Diaz. I'm a huge Diaz fan. He's one of probably him and Nick both are probably one of the up there with one of the first guys that I really was a hardcore fan of in MMA. Love him. He's a superstar, but I just don't see him beating Leon. I think the consensus was that Figueiredo was going to blow through Moreno. But, man, that's hard to pick. If I had to put money on it right now, I'd pick Moreno just because he's the taller, longer guy. I think now that Moreno has that, that feel that he can beat this guy, I think he's going to, I think he's going to this extra motivated, and I think he'll rise to the occasion again and finish the job this time. And for the main event, Izzy versus Vettori, I got to go with Izzy. That's my boy. I feel like Vettori is going to come in there and try and implement, the game plan that Jan did and take Izzy down. I feel like, a lot of people probably looked at that like Izzy has holes, but I think Izzy will use his footwork and his sniper-like striking to pick Vettori apart and put him away.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that one. Let's talk about what's next for you, Sean. When is the time frame that you'd like to step back into the octagon? And is there someone that you'd like to call out, or someone that you're hoping that maybe the UFC will match you with?
So I busted up my hand in this fight, and I got an X-ray on Friday. So I'm hoping that the X-ray doesn't show nothing too serious, like no surgery or nothing, and that it only takes a couple weeks to heal up. And I'd like to get back in there October and November. I really want to make it a point to get active and stay active now. I want to fight, every 3 to 4 months if I can. And as far as call out, 2 weeks before my event, I saw Josh Culibao. He picked up a win on that last card. And I seen his post-fight interview also that he said he wants to get back, that he has the same time frame. He wants to get back in there October, November. So we both want to get back in there same time. He seems like a guy who likes to strike. I love to stand and strike. His last fight, he fought a one-dimensional wrestler that was trying to take him down the whole time. My last opponent, was trying to take me down most of the time as well. And I feel like neither one of us would be looking for a takedown in that fight. We would, meet in the middle and duke it out and produce a exciting fight that the fans really like to see. experience level wise, also, he's 9-1 as a pro. I'm 8-1. I think it's a perfect matchup.
Sounds good. I love it, and I like the fact that you're calling your shot. Hopefully, the UFC will see this and make that matchup a reality. Always a pleasure to talk to you, my friend. Again, congrats on your most recent win. Before I do let you go, tell people where to follow you on social media, and if you have anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
STL Sniper 314 on Instagram. Give me a follow. I need to run them followers up. And just a shout out to all my supporters and sponsors, all my St. Louis people. Shit, I think all my sponsors are St. Louis-based people. And yeah, man, Iridium, best management team in the world. They've looked out for me and gone above and beyond for me in my career. And my team Wolves here at home, and just all my people in St. Louis, man.